in-space mobility. Now I know what you're thinking, trips to the moon, trips to faraway planets in space. That reality has to start somewhere, and that somewhere includes DeltaOrbit. Based in Munich, they're working on the future of in-space propulsion systems. So Jan, thank you for being here today. You know, when I heard about space propulsion, I couldn't help but think of films like Interstellar, where you have Matthew McConaughey flying around in space. But tell me, what is in-space propulsion actually about, and why is this an important challenge that you're addressing with your team at DeltaOrbit?
So, first of all, thank you, Michelle, for having me. I'm a big sci-fi fan myself, so thank you for this introduction. When it comes to space propulsion, it's important to understand that the requirements change a lot once you're in the vacuum of space. So in the vacuum of space, ignition and propulsion storage play a key role. And that is the reason why in the past there have only been fuels that have been easy to store and easy to ignite. But the problem is these fuels are not the most efficient by far. And now that we develop the new ecosystems in space with space logistics, these fuels are not sufficient any longer. And we developed solutions for both of these problems, so for the storage and for the ignition of these fuels. And this allows us to use the most efficient possible fuels.
So basically what you're saying is that traditional fuel sources are no longer cutting it when it comes to this kind of technology.
Exactly.
How are your solutions more sustainable in that sense?
So one problem is that the fuels which are currently used are very often very toxic, especially hydrogen. But the more urgent problem is really that almost all assets that we have in space at the moment are single-use assets. So after a certain time, they get space debris. And then they endanger the rest of the space ecosystem because there's space debris just flying around there. The obvious solution to that would be something like a tow truck, picking up, for example, a old satellite and then deorbit it, or even better, recycle it. And that's exactly one of the jobs that our space transporter can do.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Has the 3D Experience platform helped you to achieve this vision?
We're using the platform basically on 3 levels. The first level is very simple, so we are designing components just like this combustion chamber. We are discussing the layout with the suppliers, we're doing iterations, and then finally we just produce this thing.
And I can see how using the 3D Experience platform would help you to test that, to model that, to bring it all together.